I would not consider myself a sneakerhead, but that being said, I do love a good pair of shoes. And right now, here in our own backyard, sneaker culture has exploded into the mainstream, not even in Philly, just worldwide. But here in Philly, these shoes I'm wearing right now, they are the Philly Dunks, and there was great interest in them. And if you have ever scrolled the sneakers app, for instance, you'll see different colorways, different styles being thrown at you on the daily. It seems like everything is in right now, and no one knows that better than Doylestown native and Temple grad Steve Natto. Steve is a digital content creator, and his content is sneakers. His social media platform gives a first look at shoes, just like the Philly Dunks right here, pretty much before anyone else can get their hands on them. So Steve is here today in studio. My name is Pat Gallen. This is a Gallen of Questions with Steve Natto. Steve Natto, thanks for joining us here in studio. You are you're a content creator, so you're a sneaker buff. You know pretty much, I would think, everything there is to know about sneakers. But you are a Philly area guy. Went to Temple, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
But unrelated to sneaker content, right? Are there classes for that sort of thing at Temple?
Not really, at least not right now.
Maybe you'll be at the forefront of that. So what'd you go to school for? Like, where did it start?
So I went to school for business. I graduated in finance.
Okay.
And I've always just had a love for sneakers. It was kind of one of those things I got into in middle school. And I don't know, I feel like as most middle schoolers might get into sneakers or whatnot, but it's something I kept going with and really enjoyed it. And eventually just kind of picked up the content creation in and around college to post-college. Sure. But yeah, certainly didn't go to school for that kind of stuff.
Do you remember, because I when I think back, like, I remember the first cool pair of sneakers I had were the Reebok pumps. That was,
sure.
I was pretty young. Do you remember like the first pair where you thought, all right, this is kind of cool?
I'm trying to think. I feel like it would have had to have been like an early pair of LeBrons.
Okay.
I feel like I remember getting the Bred 11s sometime early on too. Those were a good one.
Yeah, they were a good one.
Some stuff like that.
Those are still pretty hot. So
definitely.
Jordans. You have what I would say for a lot of people is a dream job. You get to try on sneakers like every day. You get stuff sent to you. Your numbers are insane. Over 400,000 on YouTube, 200,000 on Instagram, over 600,000 on TikTok. So by my quick math, that's over 1 million people that are following you for one specific thing.
Sure.
So how did you get into the creation aspect of it?
Sure. So I think it came from just enjoying sneakers, like a passion for sneakers, where I would find myself going to look up YouTube videos on new shoes that were coming out or had just come out. And I felt like I saw like a gap in the market of the content that existed out there and what I was looking for. I felt like there was stuff that either didn't exist or just wasn't, the most informative or things I was looking for, where I was at a point where I enjoyed sneakers so much. I was getting new stuff and I was like, I think I could make videos that people would probably watch. Like, I look up this stuff. I'm sure there's other people that look it up. So that was the core of where it started. And it truly just grew from there, where I started doing long-form YouTube videos. And then just as time progressed, I started doing more of the short-form content that's, very popular now. Yeah. So it evolved from then, but that was the core, where I was just like, I like shoes. I feel like there's a little gap in the market. I tried it out. I liked the process, and I thought maybe there's something there, and just kind of ran with it.
What was that gap? What were you looking for specifically? Just like more information about what's coming out?
Yeah, a little bit of that. Kind of like I mentioned, of just sneakers that were missing. Like a new shoe would come out and I wouldn't be able to find a video on it for like days or weeks. Or if there was a video, it'd be like, kind of bad quality or not informative to tell you the information you want to know about a shoe. Yeah. So I felt like if I could provide that, I thought people might watch it.
So you're working closely with these companies. How about on a local scale? Because there are, we saw, obviously I'm wearing them right now and we can see them, the Philly Dunks, which are cool. You're wearing them also, which is fantastic. This was not planned, by the way, I promise. So these just came out and they were sort of headed by like Lapstone and Hammer and Cream right here in Philly, along with Nike. On a local scale, we don't see this very often. So there's got to be like a source of pride maybe for you as a Philly guy to see like our town on these shoes and the story behind them.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredible. I thought it was amazing. And exactly, from Lapstone and Brian kind of spearheading this initiative, especially for Philly as a whole. Like you said, like before I even knew this existed, I would have never guessed that something like this would have happened. I think it's amazing. And Philly, I think, is getting a lot of attention now with certainly this collaboration, which I think makes sense.
Yeah.
And then also the addition of, there's a new Jordan store coming to Center City.
That is right, yeah.
Soonish. I'm not sure if there's an exact date, but I think Philly's starting to get some attention that is definitely warranted and deserved.
Yeah, are we a
and
sneaker town? Like, do you think of us in the same as a New York or an LA?
I think now we're starting to be in that conversation. I think it's good. I mean, there's, New York has so much stuff, but I feel like Philly has maybe been, a little behind in terms of the amount of stores that are there, or things like that. But I think we're on the way up, so I'm excited.
I saw Travis Scott at the NBA Finals, and he was wearing a pair of his. It was a green colored, I guess, Jumpman Jack is his sneaker. So from your perspective, what makes a good collaboration? Like what works in some of these collabs? Because Travis Scott, Nike goes to him, says, "Hey, let's create a shoe." May not work, but then it ends up working. So from your perspective, what works?
I think a lot of it ties back to the story, which I think the Philly Dunk did really well. And a lot of collaborations do really well, but there are certainly some that maybe lack a little bit in that, or just kind of throw some things together. But I think a good story at its core is something that people just can't deny. If there's some good storytelling behind it, some good initiatives, I think that helps.
What are some of the more ridiculous collaborations you've seen over the last couple of years?
I'm trying to think. There's always some element of like reason behind a lot of these, but I don't know. One that pops into my head because we were just talking about Crocs, but something that sounds kind of crazy is Crocs and Balenciaga, or some different like random things like that, where we're at a time where there's a lot of experimenting going on. So there's some like wild things you'll hear of, but I don't know. There's an audience for a lot of stuff. So
there really is. It seems like there's no limit to how far we can take these things, right?
Exactly.
Are you a Philly sports guy? You're from the area, so I've seen some of your videos. Like you're at Sixers games trying to will them to victory.
Yeah. Definitely a little bit. Yeah, I've done some content of wearing like various shoes to different sporting events and things like that. So.
And how have the teams been with you trying to knock some of this stuff out?
The games themselves kind of go either way.
Yeah, right.
And it's always just kind of up to that. But I love the experience of being at the games and seeing how that all goes down, and even seeing some people at the game who kind of recognize me or kind of see what's going on. It's always a great time.
When you go to a sporting event, are you just looking down the whole time to see what everyone's wearing?
I kind of am.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for better or for worse. I don't know. It's something I like. I'm always interested to see literally that. Like, you can put on a pair of shoes at the start of your day. I'm a little curious what you might choose.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know. People wear all kinds of stuff. Some people are wearing like Travis Scott's. Some other people are just wearing something more casual.
Absolutely.
So you never know.
You brought some of the. This is like some of the coolest, maybe from the last year or so.
Yeah, definitely some recent releases that I think are interesting. Have some kind of cool angles to them.
Let's check them out. So what's first? I asked you to bring 5 different pairs here. So
sure. Well, I guess we could start with these on top. These are a pair of Crocs. These are the Patrick Crocs.
Okay.
Patrick Star from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So this was like a recent collaboration that Crocs did with SpongeBob. I mean, you could even throw that in there as just an unexpected collab that you might not know what happened.
No, yeah, like it's sort of out of nowhere.
But it's literally just a perfect example of like Patrick Star on a Croc.
Heck yeah.
So it's just super popular right now, and Crocs in a larger conversation is doing a lot, whether it be with collabs or just overall, excitement, popularity, hype around their current releases, where I pay attention to what they do because they're doing a lot of cool stuff. So this is just one recent example of something that I think is definitely really popular, but something unexpected that you might not have known about.
Are you seeing people wear these out? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. They're selling out at stores as best as I can tell.
Yeah.
And I've even heard of people buying the Patrick and the SpongeBob and wearing one of each, mix and match, or like just buying one or the other. So there's awesome. All kinds of stuff you can do with them. But I thought these were just kind of
cool. That's one.
Yeah, so this is one of them.
What else you got here? See some Jordans over there?
Yeah, we could do this Jordan box here. This one, this is actually a golf shoe, but it looks interesting. I'll let you take a look here. It's a Jordan 1 that doesn't have any laces and is a slip-on. Here, I'll pass that over and grab out the other one. It's a slip-on, but also a golf shoe.
Slip-on golf shoe. Does
So,
that work? Theoretically,
I think it does in some capacity, but it's interesting because you can also wear it casually, like not for golf too.
For sure.
Where people, again, for an example of Crocs, people like stuff you can easily throw on and just go about your day. So this, even though it is a golf shoe, it's got these like soft spikes to them that, you know, could definitely just work casually as well.
Yeah.
So it's just something you can keep by the door, throw on.
It's
hits
crazy
your
how
Jordans.
far they're taking things these days with like golf. I would never think of a slip-on shoe for golf. But
Yeah, absolutely. And golf as a whole and the whole like streetwear sneaker world too is kind of on the way up. It's really interesting.
That's
Golf is
untapped potential there for a
Yeah.
long time, right? Like
Yeah.
nobody's doing anything like this, so that's cool.
golf is kind of having a moment in both of those spaces where a lot of popular sneakers, including a regular Jordan 1, is also being made as a golf shoe. This is another Jordan box. This one is a recent release. This
Those
is
are
the
pretty.
the military blue Jordan 4.
Those are pretty.
So these came out within the last month or so, and just a wildly popular, one of the best maybe Jordans of the year, kind of
Yeah.
in that conversation. Iconic colorway. Jordan 4s as a whole are super popular, like one of the
really are.
most popular Jordan models out right now.
Yep.
But these are also interesting too because of the way that shoes kind of are placed right now, where
Okay.
there's still a lot of excitement around shoes, but the kind of the market around sneakers is a little down compared to the last couple of years.
Interesting.
Where a few years ago, I feel like this shoe, would have been an instant sellout and sell for like $300 or $400 on the secondary market. Where these are going for pretty close to their retail price, which is a little surprising, but
Yeah.
I think a good thing because it's like this is an amazing shoe. It's great for the summer too.
Yep.
And if people want it, it doesn't like
It keeps
break-
it accessible. For
Yeah, it
everyone
doesn't
to buy.
break the bank. Sure, they're still a little expensive as it is, but like it's not $300 or $400, which I think is good as
Why
it
do
once
you think
was.
that is? What are you seeing?
I think there's just a little like not as much hype or excitement around sneakers as there was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Kind of post pandemic, I think. Excuse me. I think some of the the money is being spent on like real life experiences and things like that,
Okay, interesting, yeah.
rather than spending on like goods like this, like sneakers, like
Right.
they were during the pandemic. So it's a little bit of that. Certainly not anything like crazy, but
Yeah.
it's a slight shift that I think makes right now a really good time for sneakers because you can get a lot of really good stuff for not super expensive, at least as it once was, which
That's not
I think
bad
is a big
thing.
win.
Yeah. All right. Those are cool. Give me a couple
Let's
more
see here.
Oh, I like the. You brought the Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, we'll do that one next here. So yeah, these are a cool box too. It's
That is pretty neat.
Anthony Edwards. He's had like a bunch of colorways. Obviously, had like a really good run this NBA season and the postseason as well.
Plus, he's a movie star in
Yeah,
Hustle
yeah.
with Adam Sandler. So,
Yeah.
he's
So-
on the up for sure.
Here, I'll pass these
I like
as
that
well.
color. Maybe not a color. Was that salmon? Like, what color would you call that?
I
Sort of pink.
think it's being called clay. Is
Clay.
like what the official name is.
All
or
right, we'll
it's
go with
being called. But,
Clay. Sure.
But yeah, this shoe as a whole is just really cool and interesting
Yeah.
as well because of the popularity of Anthony Edwards, but also for like Adidas kind of having a moment in the basketball space too,
Yeah.
where it's always heavily driven by Nike and there's always some competition in the basketball space, but Adidas really did something, at least within the sneaker world, with this shoe specifically, where these were selling out. People were getting really excited about these, but people were also taking these off the court, which was like a little bit of a change for
Okay.
current basketball sneakers,
Yeah.
where a lot of the performance stuff is meant for like on the court,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that's kind of just how people wore it.
Right.
Where people were like seeing this more as a streetwear angle or
Sure.
something you could also wear off the court.
And as you mentioned, at a fairly accessible price point, right? Like $120.
Yeah, these are $120, so certainly not too bad. There's plenty of other models that are
Yeah.
more expensive. So I don't know. Adidas did their thing with these, and
I like 'em.
It's one that a lot of people are enjoying right
I
now.
like them a lot. All right, you got one more. Let's
Yeah,
see
one
what-
more. This is the previous Phillies dunk, which is, you guys have probably seen these, the Philadelphia Phillies Nike SB dunk. Oh, sure.
Heck yeah.
From a couple of years ago.
You see these at a Phillies game. Like,
Yeah,
they're on
definitely
everybody's feet.
Definitely see
And I
these a
can
lot
see
at
why.
Phillies games. I've worn these to a handful of Phillies games and other things as well, because the cool thing that is also an interesting point for the current Phillies or Philly dunk
Yeah.
is these ones have behind the tongue the Liberty Bell and the cheesesteak, which I think
cheesesteak action right there.
Yeah, which I think these ones were going for a different vibe, where it's like people know that Philly is for the Liberty Bell and the cheesesteak,
sure,
but the new Philly Dunk takes a deeper dive into Philly as a whole, which I think is really interesting.
But on the surface, it's always about the Liberty Bell or cheesesteaks, and I understand that. But yeah, that's what I think they got right about these for sure.
Exactly, and these ones were a part of a kind of like not exactly a collab pack, but they made 4 different pairs of these baseball-themed dunks from Nike SB, where it was the Phillies, Mets, Dodgers, and the Giants, where they each had like different symbols behind the tongue. They all have like this bubble gum on the bottom, which is kind of cool, on one of the shoes to play into the baseball theme. So it was like a cool kind of random pack that came out, but people from all the different cities loved. And people in Philly, definitely enjoy this.
And we love the colorway too. I'm glad that they brought this back for the retro.
Absolutely.
Jerseys. All right, cool. Let's do this. Gallen of questions. So every guest that comes in, random questions in the can. We see if we can knock them all out. And
all right,
you'll answer them to the best of your ability. You want to try?
Hey, sounds good to me.
Steve Natto, Gallen of questions. Grab one right there.
All right, let's see. We got here we go. This is a good one. Are Crocs cool? So that's a good one. We kind of touched on it, but yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
You think so?
I think like the little kids absolutely love them. People younger, but even adults of all ages, I think Crocs are in a really good place right now. That they're absolutely cool.
I was having lunch the other day, and I overheard a woman behind me talking about how much she dislikes Crocs because she thinks they're ugly, but they are useful, and in some respects, they can be fashionable as well.
Yeah, easy to throw on
for sure. What is currently the best dad shoe on the market?
Oh, that's a good question.
What's your favorite dad shoe? Because that's having a moment now.
That is kind of having a moment too.
What do you like?
I'm trying to think. I feel like New Balance and Asics kind of fit that realm.
Yep.
A popular Asic or a popular New Balance that I really like. I don't know if it's exactly the dad shoe type vibe, but the 550 is really popular.
Okay, yep.
The New Balance 9060, maybe not exactly dad shoe, but then from Asics there's another model called the 1130, which maybe that's a little bit more of that realm. But both of those brands have some of that vibe going to it.
For sure. All right. What's your favorite shoe of all time?
Ooh, favorite shoe of all time? I think for me it's between like a Jordan 1 or a Jordan 4.
Okay.
But I think just the bread Jordan 1, you can't beat it.
Jordan 1 for sure. Most comfortable shoe you own?
Most comfortable shoe. That's another good question. There's a lot in that conversation.
Can you narrow it down?
I'm trying to think.
I just had bought a pair of the Vomero 5s.
Actually, yeah.
They're really comfortable.
That might be the answer. Now,
is that the answer?
I wear those almost every day.
Do you really? Yeah.
Vomero 5s are incredible. I like that one.
All right, cool. All right, here we go then. Rate these. It's actually on this. Rate these on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best. You color, the way they fit, the way they feel. So let's start with Nike Vomero 5.
Oh, there we go.
1 to 10. What grade would you give them? 10 being best.
Vomero 5's easy 10.
Yeah?
Yeah, easy 10. I love that sneaker.
Nothing wrong with that sneaker.
No.
How about the Jordan Jumpman Jack TR Sail, which just came out a little while ago?
That's another good one. I like it a lot. So I'm going to say like a 9.5. Like 9.5? I think they did that one well. It's like a new silhouette. It's for Travis, but like a Jordan type of thing. I like it. 9. So that's a good one.
How about the Prestos?
Prestos. I mean, that's a classic one.
Feel nice on your feet, too. They're pretty comfortable.
I feel like that's got to be like a 9.
9. And the New Balance 574, which is kind of a dad shoe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Super popular in general, but
still.
I think that's got to be at least another 9. I mean, those are all great shoes.
Oh, great shoes. I should have done some crazier shoes. Your favorite insanely expensive sneaker?
Oh.
Is there one that's like, is that your just out of reach? You're like, I need that. I need those.
Yeah, probably at this point, I'd say if you've seen like the Off-White Jordans, that collection, there's an Off-White Jordan 1 in like the Chicago colorway.
Okay.
And I don't even know how much it might go for. At least $5,000. Okay. Probably more.
Yep.
Where that one's super expensive, but a great shoe.
Is that your white whale? Like, I need those.
Yeah.
We were just talking about these, the Mischief Big Red Boots.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Comfortable or not?
I'm going to say comfortable because they're not uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You got to get used to them a little bit, but you can totally wear them.
They're crazy looking. All right, we have 2 more. Let's see what we can do here. Rank the shoes. Anthony Edwards, James Harden, Kevin Durant. So
Ooh,
best
that's
to worst,
interesting.
which is the best of the bunch?
And I guess maybe like the current models. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Or you could just go overall, like because
Okay.
Durant obviously has
Yeah,
more
yeah,
shoes
yeah.
than Anthony Edwards. But yeah, you can go current model, sure.
So that's kind of tough. I think.
That's why we're here to put you on the spot.
I think the Anthony Edwards, like I said, I like that shoe a lot.
Yeah.
I will say the Hardens, the most recent Harden was also really good, but not as good as the AE, I don't think.
Okay.
And then the KD, it was kind of in between two new models. I like the new model a lot, the 17.
Okay, yeah.
But I might go,
So we'll go Edwards.
I think we'll go
Edwards.
Harden and then KD. We'll
KD.
go that
okay,
way.
so
yeah.
like in that order right
Yeah.
there. All right, let's knock it out. Last one with Steve Natto. Let's see what we got here. Oh, rank the Jordans. 1, 3, 4.
Ooh, that's another good one. Yeah, I think it's got to be the 1,
The 1.
and then the 4,
The 4.
although they're close, and then the 3 is great too, but that's got to be third on that list, I think.
Steve, it was a lot of fun getting to know you and all your sneakers.
Absolutely.
Congratulations with all the success. It's a lot of fun,
Thank you.
dude. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.